is a form. So request, what you are requesting is some form, so that we has to be displayed here. After that, you will write some you fill this form using your data. So you will give your name, title, country, whatever you are giving the data, that will be filled in a form. So that form will be again we are submitting. Okay, submit किया some the fill करके submit किया. You just filled that and you have submitted that. So that submitted data. Okay, so data किस form में आपका browser को चले जाएगा. Okay, that data will be processed first of all using in this example we have used process.php. Okay, फॉर्म के दो एट्रीब्यूट थे, एक मेथड और एक प्रोसेस process.php था. सो आई शो दैट. तो काम तो क्या ये एक्शन एक्शन में हम क्या यूज किए. जस्ट आई हैव यूज process.php. So what does it mean? So it means whatever your data you have entered in a form, that has to be processed using process.php. Means if you are giving a name equal to your name, okay, this will come in such format. Means name, your values and your uh, names. Name equal to your name, USN equal to your USN, address equal to your address. So that will make in some format wise. Okay, उस format wise करने के लिए हम क्या क्या use कर रहे हैं, process.php use कर रहे हैं. So that will make some format and that will be sent to your server. Okay, finally the server क्या करेगा, आपका वो data को process करके इन इसमें सेव करेगा. सी हियर आई मेक php. यहाँ पर आपका डेटा सेव होगा एक्चुअली इन दिस फॉर्म. That we study for the classes, the detailed things. So just remember, first if you are entering some request through a URL सब request भेज रहे हैं, क्या बोल के application form www.vtu.application form बोल के आप request भेज रहे हैं. उस request, if you are entered that request, that will be get you back with some form. So आपका form generate होगा. So in this form we will enter some data and we will submit that. When you submit that, that data will be stored in a server. अब किस फॉर्मेट में सर्वर होगा, यूजिंग PHP फॉर्मेट में it will be shown. Okay, fine. So next is query string. What does it mean, query string? Query string means it's an something which will enter into the browser. Means I told you earlier also. So HTTP request. HTTP request means you are communicating to a browser with a request or with the HTTP protocol. So that we call as a HTTP request. Okay. See, you may be wondering how to a browser send a data to a server. कैसा send करेगा browser server को using HTTP request. Okay, got it. So the data browser packages the user data into something called as query string. Okay, यहाँ आपका ब्राउजर है समझो, यहाँ आपका सर्वर है समझो. ओके, ब्राउजर से सर्वर को डेटा is sending in, input data is in something that we call as a string. Okay, we are sending data in some package that in the form of query string. Got it? The browser packages uses data into something called as query string. Okay, जो भी यूजर का डेटा इन सम फॉर्मेट में सम पैकेजेस में जाएगा, दैट वी कॉल द क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग, इजंट इट? सो क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग में क्या होगा? सो व्हाट क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग एक्चुअली having? So it is having name and value. Are you getting? Series of name and value separated by ampersand. Ampersand and symbol. And symbol we call the ampersand. For example, if you are giving a name, for example, I am giving a name. So how that query string will be? It will come like the name equal to some name. Akash is a name. Okay, so this is a name, this is a value. Evasion, for example. Second is evasion, and some evasion. So in between that, I am using ampersand. Are you getting? So that is a single line, name and Akash, ampersand, evasion, and again ampersand, and your address. So likewise, that query string will be defined by a HTML form, isn't it? Okay. Just think that if my form is, ये मेरा form, if form में input type कौन सा है? Text. Okay. Text input में कैसे लिखते हैं हम? Just we will write like this. तो इसमें नेम क्या होगा? नेम के सामने क्या आना है? नेम इक्वल टू जो भी आप एंटर कर रहे नेम वो किसके नाम से चला जाएगा? टाइटल. तो इसके इन प्लेस ऑफ नेम टाइटल हैज टू बी देयर. Means whatever you are entering in front of the name, that will be assigned to title, because I have taken attribute name as a title. Are you getting? So if you are not getting this, see, ये आपका name. In here I am entering the name. Okay, ये name किसको चले जाएगा? This name has to be assigned to what? The name has to be assigned to title, because I have given name as a title. The name attribute का नाम क्या है? टाइटल है. इसलिए अशोक किसको जाएगा? टाइटल को जाएगा. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? टाइटल इक्वल टू अशोक. ओके. यहाँ पर फॉर एग्जांपल सेकंड, if I entered evasion in place of evasion, if I entered evasion as an 3 LA, for example, my evasion as 3 LA. So this 3 LA will be assigned to what? Here input type is text and name is evasion. इसको assign होगा. That will be assigned to evasion. So that means U as n equal to 3 LA. Okay. So that will be displayed in a single line. In between these two, I am using ampersand. So that we call the string, query string. Okay. So likewise, college. College का name में क्या है? Selection के name में where. So if I choose college as a LAC, means you after your where will assign to, so that well LAC will assign to where. So now where will become LAC. Are you getting? So this is a form. ये कौन सा फॉर्म फॉर्मेट है? आपका फॉर्म का फॉर्मेट ऐसा चेंज होगा बाद में यूजिंग PHP प्रोसेस. ये प्रोसेस क्या करेगा? आपका फॉर्म का जो भी डेटा यू आर गिविंग, दैट डेटा विल बी making some format wise, some standard format. That format is called the query string. So query string means each name and value and ampersand. Name, value, ampersand. Okay. Name and value is pair में separated with emphasis, ampersand. See here, you can see कौन सा फॉर्म है नेम एंड वैल्यू. नेम बोले तो जो भी इन टाइप में अब नेम इक्वल टू लिखते रहे उसको असाइन होगा वैल्यू. ओके, सो दैट वी कॉल अ क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग. इस फॉर्मेट में सी here you can title, see name title, and if you enter central bank, the central bank will be assigned to title. After that I am using a ampersand, and this where I am using selection name equal to where, that name whatever the value I am entering US will be assigned to the where. So this way your standard query string का डाटा इसी फॉर्मेट में आपका सर्वर पे चले जाएगा. ओके, सो नाउ फॉर्म एलिमेंट. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज अ फॉर्म एलिमेंट. द फॉर्म एलिमेंट कैसे रहेगा आपका फॉर्म, एक्चुअली फॉर्म टैग कैसे रहेगा. ओके, फॉर्म एलिमेंट. फॉर्म एलिमेंट में टू इंपॉर्टेंट एट्रीब्यूट वी हैव सीन इन द फॉर्म. क्या क्या, what, which are those? Method and action. Remember these two attributes. In the method we are giving the value get or post. There are two types of method, get and post. The action, as I told you, action is used to process your form. फॉर्म किस फॉर्म में आपका सबमिट करना चाहिए. सो विच वे वी आर सबमिटिंग माय फॉर्म टू द सर्वर using PHP means that will be make in such a format that has to be submit to the server. कौन सा format में we have seen now name equal to value and ampersand. After that we will add ampersand, and again we will take some name, some value, ampersand. Okay, so this format में आपका process action होगा. Okay, and method get time, two types of method, get and post. So here two types, get and post, two format. Okay, action, first of all, action attribute specifies a URL of a server side resource. If you entered a process get type means that will be sent to this format. So URL code artist equal to Paul plus Picasso. Here artist is your label and this is your value that has to be sent in which format, URL encoded format. जैसा कि एक आपका ब्राउजर है, सुनिए एक आपका वेबसाइट है, तो इसका ब्राउजर किस इस URL किस फॉर्मेट में आ रहा है, www.lingarajappा.ec.in. इसके बाद डिपार्टमेंट बोल के आ रहा है. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, in this web page or in this site again I am entering into department. Okay, उस डिपार्टमेंट में, फॉर एग्जांपल इन द डिपार्टमेंट इफ आई क्लिक ऑन सिविल इंजीनियरिंग, if I click on, for example, I click on workshop. So here what will come in a workshop LAC, I have entered in the workshop. So it means through a URL only you can come to know that which page you are browsing actually. That we call as the action of your web page. Okay. here you can easily understand. Okay, समझो if your method is of type get, तो उसका मान means क्या हो गया? Here you easily understand title equal to central call and URL equal to state. That will be in this format. Your URL is of this format. Okay. If you are using post type of method, at that time your queue string is here, and with that we are using header also. So header means आपका टाइम, किस टाइम में आपका ब्राउज कर रहे हैं, किस टाइम में आप सबमिट कर रहे हैं, उसका लेंथ क्या है, वो सब किस में आएगा? पोस्ट. Okay, if you are using post method means that has to has HTTP header with a query string. Query string बोलो तो already have told. Query string means the name and value ampersand. Name, value, ampersand. Okay, that is a query. So if I using post means your header plus query. Header means your date, time, agent name, the number of length of your content, all those things we call the header. So if I use post means that has to has the header as well as query string. If I'm using only get means what? Get means what? Only query string with some process.php. So here I'm not using header if I am using get. Okay. Suppose I use get means there is no header. Suppose if I use post means that is a header plus query string. There's a difference. Okay, I hope you guys understood this. Next topic is the form control element. Okay. What's the meaning of form control element? How you can control your form? Okay. Here I am using different form input types. Okay, form may I have used input of some type, input element of some type. So here different form input types we will study. See in this example, I have seen input type text type, isn't it? Text type. Input type is submit type. See. So likewise, input is having different types. Input element is having a different types. So that we will study in this chapter. Okay. See in this. Okay. If you want difference here also you can get a difference between get and post. Okay. So here post binary data is in the binary format. So that nothing will be recognized if it is in the format binary format. Everything is hidden from the user if you use post. So submitted to data not stored in the cache and history. Suppose if I use post means that the data is not to be stored in a cache memory or in a history or in a bookmark. Okay. So suppose if you use get means it's the opposite of that. The data will be stored in a cache so that some other can also reuse or other can also misuse that data. This is a disadvantage of get also. Okay. So you can make bookmark also in a get. So these are the some advantages and disadvantages in get and post. If you want to. Okay. Now we'll study. So this is a type input type. So how many form related HTML element? Input type, button type. Button type means if you are using submit button, some kind of button, at that time we will use button. So data list means HTML element that defines list of predefined values. See, predefined value is used with input field. So to define list of predefined value, at the time we will data list. Like if you want to list multiple data, so that we will use data list. Okay. Field set, already we have seen a field set means group करने के लिए. So to group we use field set. The form is a container. In that we will have multiple form elements or form tags we will use. The complete things will be in a container will be in a form container only. In the form container, again, you may have a HTML document also. Means in a form also, you can use one more HTML document. Okay. Here, remember, in a form, there should not be one more form. Means not a its child form likewise. So form is a single. It should not contain one more form, isn't it? So input. Input means it's a field define different 20 types of input types that we see. So input type means in an input type, how many types are there? 20 different types, like your submit, text, password, uh, your phone numbers. Uh, there are multiple 20 different submit, but check button, check boxes, all those things are also come under types element label that we will study. Label means to give a label for your any input element that we will label. The difference label for field set. To label this field set, we will listen. Okay, so it means in this example we have seen also. See, here I have used lesson details. Details I have given to the फील्ड सेट को मैं डिजाइन डिटेल बोल के लिख दिया था हाँ तो सी दिस इज लेसन to this field set. Okay, and option that will not options is used to select a multiple options, select from the list ke using the select element we give options, multiple options. Op group, for example, ये ऑप्शन के अंदर ही आएगा. So in the option we are using again multiple items list. For example, if you choosing a country, in the country if you are choosing a state, India is the country in that you are using a state Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, all those things. तो सब heading के लिए use होगा. Like we will see later. How means in a India country we are having 28 again 28 this 28 states. In a USN for again 30 states. Okay, to do such grouping we will use opt group. Okay? You know, select is used to define multiple items. If you are having a multiple item list, at that time we will use select. To write some items in a select we will use option, opt group and option group. And text area defines a multi-line text entry boxes. If you are using multiple lines, at that time we use a text area. But all these are form related HTML elements. So we will study all this. So how can we control input element text input? Okay, here I am using input element. Let me erase all these things. Take note. Here I'm using a label as name and giving input of which type, text type. So if I give text type means just so my label name is name, and in that I can give a only text type of data. Okay, that data has to be assigned to name variable, isn't it? So what if I'm using a text area type? So this is one of the type, text area. Means multiple rows. Okay, row is 3. Just take this also. Text area. Attribute rows equal to 3. That means this is a data text area of how many lines? 3 lines. We can use maximum 3 rows. Text area these two come under text area. Rows. These two come under text. See, it's giving a maximum how many lines? 3 lines below that line. So if you want to enter more lines at that time, you release this. One more is password. Password input type is password, means you can enter only password. So that will come in asterisk form, means star form. So it's just change text, or else you take one more text also. Password. Okay, and you have to give label it as a label capital. Close the label. Space means you can give a break the line, or else it will come one by after. That will break the line. Okay, here password has come. Whatever you are entering, that is in the form of some dotted format. Because I have taken input of each type, password type, isn't it? Here your name is some text format. The password is in encoded form. Encoded. Okay. You can design likewise. Here multiple types are. Search बोले तो, so it will display search also. In place of that, if you do search in place of password, you can take search also. Let me do that also. Just go paste, type in search. See, can you see this? If you enter, that will be search something. Okay, that it's showing this type of type. Okay. So choose the email. You can give email address. You can give telephone number. You can give URL. So these are the input text control. Okay, how can you control this input element? Okay, using some text attribute, type attributes. Right here, here generally I assume complete things. So okay, you can check search and placeholder. Placeholder means what? So before searching, something has to be displayed in that box. So how means ये आपका search box है. Here I haven't entered anything, but it has to show something. Means that has to be in a placeholder. So how means I will do. Here initially there is nothing is there. If I make some correction here using attribute called as a placeholder, like a placeholder. In a placeholder, if I have given enter the okay, तो इसके अंदर initially that will be shown enter the name. Okay, yeah, nothing is there. Once if I refresh this, see, okay, understood? This is a placeholder initially. So nothing means something has to display in that box using placeholder attribute. Okay, and email type will be like this. So these all are examples of your type element control. Okay, type controls. You can use pattern also. Pattern means your poster must be some pattern. Means starting with small and second will be your letter, then small letters, small letters, likewise. Okay. If you are given a pattern as all capital means you must enter all capital. Okay. Like that you can arrange your pattern also pattern. Okay. Are you getting? Fine. Next will be the choice control. Okay. All these are come under forms only. Okay. Controlling form. Choice control. Okay. Choice means what? There must be multiple choices. Among that you must select. Means what? There must be a list of elements. So among that you choose something that we call the choicing. So that has to be controlled using the select list. So already we have seen select element, we will use option element, option tag we will use in a select element. इस select tag के अंदर option tag use करते थे. Same ways. See, input type is text type and I'm using these many of options. Just copy and paste. Into this paste. After password, it is showing again password data list is not showing. means you are taking data listing. It's some labels. Give a label as search city. You can label as a city. Save. Here it will give multiple cities. Are you getting? These many number of cities. So good. Okay, it will show these cities showing either it should not because I have it shouldn't be there. Okay. So it will shows the multiple lists. Okay, using these things you can search also. If you enter P, that will display related for enter P. Harrison Prabhu friend. It will show me the red emails land. It will give. It can also search. Here, if I use selection name as an choices, so at that time it will give these choices. Let me do this also. Select. See, you can select. You can use this also. You can give label also. Label the it will choose. Give some label. Can go label action choice choice option. So, label choice option. Okay, you can choose any options using a select one. This is your input type of search type. Select text se- selection. Okay, all these are here. You can give a size also, selection size. If you give 3 means it will show 3 only. If you give 4 means 4. Okay. Here you can come to know that op group. Op group is help to group subgroup in the list. Subgroup करने के लिए help होगा आपको. So इसका main heading क्या है? North America. In the North America again we are having 2 more options. In a Europe again we are having 3 more options. We are making subgroup at the time we will use op group. So there's a help to select subgroup. So let me check this also. Copy, paste over here. Save and check. See, or else you will take next line also. Next. So here have to be, or else you can write it in a you also. This in a separate. See, the main group and that two sub main group under the post that is using the object group under your options. Under object group, you are having options. The object group name is North Korea. In that, I am having two groups. The object group Europe, the main group is Europe, the subgroups. Okay, you can make a state wise also. State wise or city wise, villages wise, you can make all these things. Fine. So these are all the selection elements. So using data list element, there are many elements we can use in a form. The value attributes also we can value attributes. Using value attributes also we can select. We can give a number or we can give a value to each option. आप value भी दे सकते हो to each option also. Next will be the radio button. To do this, we are using a type radio. If I use radio type means there it will generate some buttons. Radio buttons means circle button. The circle we will click on, that means that will be highlighted. That will be check. Okay. So if you want to check by default using check, if you check in a property or in a attribute, that will be checked. If I write check means second will be checked. Second option will be checked means it is showing like. If didn't do any check means nothing will be checked. So all are empty. Let's try this also. Stop. I don't these things. See, we can select the radio. These are radio button. Round button means a radio buttons. By default, South Korea, because by default I have given checked as a South Korea. So here I have given it as checked. If you remove by default, it will not check anything. See. If I give third as a checked, so initially by default, this will be checked. See. Okay. So by default, you can check it. Radio button. So next will be the check button. Check button के लिए हम क्या करना type check box type. In the input element, you have to give a type as a check box. So at that time, checkbox बोल तो square checkbox आएगी. Square form में. Square form. Radio बोले तो round form में आएंगे. Check बोले तो square form. Small square. See, you can check here. Check button. Okay. See. Like this also. Like this. You can check it. Could you tell me the difference between check and radio button? Radio button can be select one at a time. You can't check two button at a time. At a time, you can check only one button in a radio button. But in a checkbox, we can check two or three boxes. At a time, you can check multiple boxes. But in a radio, it is not possible. At a time, it will select only one button. If you click on this, means the previous this will be disabled and this will be checked. Okay, so the difference between checked and radio button. Right. Okay, so this button control will say next class.